With Joe Flacco moving on from the Cleveland Browns, one would expect that the Cleveland Browns will make Shedeur Sanders quarterback two for the Cleveland Browns. Not so fast. They are non-committal to naming Shedeur Sanders quarterback two now that Joe Flacco is now out of Cleveland. And on other news, we got to talk about a potential trade that could see the Buffalo Bills go after Chris Olave. Y'all know we gonna talk about it, break it all down, but you gotta hit the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, NFL fans? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for NFL and all news and everything. So if you're tuned in, love football talk, and love talking football, regardless of who you root for, go ahead and tune in and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and join the football family. But hey, we got some buffoonery coming out of Cleveland from head coach Kevin Stefanski. Not even gonna hold you. I don't understand the Cleveland Browns, and I never will, at least up until this point in my existence of being a football fan. Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, along with other members, ultimately the other day traded Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, which opened up and left the Cleveland Browns with two quarterbacks on their roster, active roster. That was Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And when Kevin Stefanski yesterday was asked if Shedeur Sanders would now be moved up to QB2, he beat around the bush. He played games. He acted as if he don't know what the hell is going on with his football team. There is also some rumblings of saying that they might move Bailey Zappi from the practice squad into QB2. What? What are we doing here? I'm not even joking. Yes, if you have not seen it, you are hearing it for the first time. I am not lying. There is rumors that Kevin Stefanski can move Bailey Zappi from the practice squad to being QB2 for the Cleveland Browns. In fact, when Kevin Stefanski was questioned about it, he went on and he said this: all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development. And I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. End quote. Okay, buddy, old pal. What the hell do you think Bailey Zappi can do as quarterback too? We seen him as a starter in this league, and Bill Belichick went to lean on Bailey Zappi, and guess what Bill Belichick at right now? At UNC, looking at a damn buyout because he trash in the last few seasons of his coaching career. Come on now. Let's keep it real. And I ain't trying to throw shots at Bill Belichick. I'm not going to disrespect and act like he not one of the greatest coaches to ever live and coach in the NFL. But what I am going to say is Bailey Zappi is one of the reasons, one of the many, many reasons Bill Belichick is out of the NFL, because Robert Kraft said, you can't get it right with Mac Jones. You can't get it right with Cam Newton. You can't get it right with Bailey Zappi. Yeah, it's enough. I've seen enough. Thank you, Bill. We appreciate the 20 years of your service. It's time to go. But back on to Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski has lost his mind. If you in the world of NFL coaching decides to not move up Shedeur Sanders into QB2, y'all playing games. Y'all playing games. This is one of those things to where I said, I always came on and I said, Shedeur Sanders had to earn his way, rightfully so. Shedeur Sanders has to make sure that he's buttoned up off the field and on the field. For sure. Did not like Shedeur Sanders doing the pantomime thing. I feel like he could have just been straight to the point. Hey, I'm happy for Dylan Gabriel. Move on. Boom. And then there was some fairness that came out of that, and pretty much saying, why are y'all interviewing a third string quarterback anyway? Which was fair. but the cameras are there, right there anyway. So you look at Shedeur Sanders and you say, hey, you know that it's coming. Go ahead and handle your business the correct way. You know what I mean? But this right here is just complete buffoonery. It's just complete buffoonery. How don't you know who's going to be your QB2 now that Joe Flacco is out the way? Kenny Pickett is out the way. Bailey Zappi is on the practice squad. Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, this is why y'all have been a shitty organization forever. Because y'all continue to do dumb things and play stupid games. You play stupid game, you win stupid prizes. This is the nature of the Cleveland Browns. And I think they got a lot of talent and they could have been in a lot better position if they moved in a better way. When you had Baker Mayfield take you to the playoffs, he gets hurt the following year, messes up his shoulder. You say, nah, we going to be extra thirsty and go get a freaky mofo in Deshaun Watson. Ever since then, nothing. Now you're trying to find your way. You drafted 2 quarterbacks in the NFL draft this season, and my plan was for the Cleveland Browns this entire season was to figure out if you have the quarterback of the future. Because next year in the draft, you have 2 first-round picks that can help you continue to build this team. It seems very logical for me. I'm pretty sure it seems logical for y'all that's listening right now, but obviously it don't seem very logical for the people that get paid millions of dollars to do a damn job. Make it make sense, bro. You mean to tell me you not ready to commit to Shedeur Sanders being QB2 for what? If that's the case, you shouldn't have drafted him. If that's the case, let him go. If that's the case, you need to be fired. Fired. You need to be fired if you're going to keep on playing these games with this locker room. Maybe he could be saying something else in the locker room. Maybe he could be spinning the narrative for the media. Maybe, just maybe. But at the end of the day, why do we have to keep hearing and seeing y'all play these stupid games in Cleveland? Why do we have to keep seeing this? Why do we have to keep trying to make sense of what the hell y'all doing? Nobody is asking you to hand over a silver platter to Shedeur Sanders, but let's be logical here. Anytime a quarterback goes down or is traded from the team, the person that was in either on the practice squad or at the third slot, if they didn't have anybody in the third slot, they're moved up, not remaining in the same spot. And you mean to tell me that you going to go out there, draft 2 quarterbacks, give Dillon Gabriel opportunity, and then say if Dillon Gabriel, struggles a little bit, you're not willing to go to the other quarterback you drafted? You willing to go to a damn practice squad quarterback and Bailey Zappi, who you know what he is in the NFL? Come on, be for real. Be for real. Like, it makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense, bro. Nobody is saying that Shedeur Sanders absolutely has to start, but you ain't willing to give the man the backup duties. If Dillon Gabriel gets tackled the wrong way, it needs to come out a play to gather himself and then insert Shedeur Sanders to just go out and run a play or 2. You willing to go out there and say it's Bailey Zappi time? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. This is unreal. It's unreal. And this is why I always say I feel for Cleveland Brown fans, because the Cleveland Brown fans, y'all always have to deal with dumb assery in your organization that you root for. I feel for the fans, not for these dummies that run the organization, because y'all do impulsive and things that don't make sense. It don't make sense. This is just another thing, another distraction to keep you in the media and immersed in negativity. One day is Shedeur Sanders, another day is Kevin Stefanski, another day is the owner and Haslam, another day is Andrew Berry and some of his decision making. The Cleveland Browns are constantly in the media for the wrong reasons. Y'all can literally silence all of this if you come to terms and understand what's at stake and what's ahead of you before the damn people come in with the pens and the pads and the recorders and the microphones. You can literally put out fires before they even start in Cleveland if you do your job. What are we talking about here? We doing what's best for the team. The fucking starter is not hurt. He's Dylan Gabriel. We know that. Make Shedeur Sanders the number 2. Allow him to get the number 2 reps and move on. Now you're in the media for all dumb assery and negativity. Cleveland Brown fans, I feel for y'all, bro. Y'all a strong fan base, bro, to constantly deal with this inept ass organization. I feel for Cleveland Brown fans, bro. Y'all don't deserve these damn bro. Cleveland Brown fans, y'all don't deserve all this negativity that is being placed on your organization by the people that's supposed to be leading the charge the right way. Y'all don't deserve that, bro. I feel for y'all because it just can be so simple to come to the microphone and be Shedeur's QB2. Next question. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. That's it, bro. Whoop-de-doo. Shedeur Sanders is QB2. Next question. No, I got to go out there. We got to evaluate. We got to see what's best for our team. Ain't nobody believing in no damn Bailey Zappi, bro. Stop it. Stop it. My goodness. What are we talking about? I just don't understand it at all. Again, Cleveland Brown fans, I feel for y'all, bro. I really do. Because this is just the dumb assery that keeps coming out of Cleveland because people that's in charge just continue to beat around the bush instead of making logical decisions. Logical decisions. Hey, how I feel to and this ain't that y'all Cleveland Browns fan, so cover your ears. Hey, Cleveland Brown owner, GM, and coach, how I feel to see Baker Mayfield ball out these last 2 years and y'all let him go for Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson has been ass since he entered your organization. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fuck. But hey, y'all let me know y'all thoughts and everything on that, man. Before we get up out of here, I want to talk about the Buffalo Bills potentially looking at a trade to acquire Chris Olave, or at least a rumor that has been placed out by NFL insider Jordan Palmer. He went out to say this is something that's been bothering them for the last couple of seasons, which he was talking about, some of the wide receiver play. He went on to say they thought Keon Coleman would be the guy last year as a rookie that's asking a lot from him. In year 2, they've seen up and down play. They have so much talent in the middle of the field with the way James Cook is running the football, with Khalil Shakir, with both tight ends, and they're running 3 tight ends with jumbo stuff. But I don't know if they go and make a major move like that. Also saying that he would love to see the Buffalo Bills try to go after Chris Olave, end quote. Now, Chris Olave, me personally, would be a hell of a weapon for a Buffalo Bills team that absolutely needs another wide receiver, in my personal opinion. You kind of seen it in that New England Patriots game, to where on one side, you look at the New England Patriots and you see Stephon Diggs just going off, and all the other wide receivers on the New England Patriots, yeah, they was getting their ends and, they was contributing. But the guy that really changed the game and helped the game along for a victory was Stephon Diggs, a true number 1 wide receiver. I'm not saying that Chris Olave is a true number 1, but I think that he has that potential to go out there and pair up with Keon Coleman to give them a different style of receiving group. And I think that when you look at Chris Olave, he comes in only about 6 feet, about 200 pounds or something like that, maybe a little over, maybe selling them short on that. But Chris Olave can very well come in and give you wide receiver 1 type reps. I'm not even going to lie to you. I still want to see a lot more from him. I know it's been a little shaky down in New Orleans, but I think that'll be a hell of a trade. And I don't necessarily think it'll cost you much. Maybe a 4th, maybe a 3rd at the most. Maybe that's too high. I don't know. But I do know Chris Olave paired with Keon Coleman, paired with Khalil Shakir, paired with Dalton Kincaid, paired with Dawson Knox. That'll be a hell of a receiving group for Josh Allen to operate with. Now, Chris Olave last year only played in 8 games, had 44 targets, 32 receptions, 400 yards with 1 touchdown, dealing with some injuries. Now, the year prior to that, he played in 16 games, 138 targets, 87 receptions, 1,100 yards for 5 touchdowns. So Chris Olave for the Buffalo Bills could be somebody that gives them the production that they need. And I think that hey, if it is something that is on the table for a New Orleans Saints team that's trying to sell off some of their older players to acquire assets to build their team into the image of new head coach Kellen Moore, I say, why not? Why not go out there and receive some additional capital to try to bolster up your team? Now, here's the flip side to that discussion. When you talk about young quarterbacks and trying to get the best out of a young quarterback, if you're the New Orleans Saints, whether you're going to run with Spencer Rattler or turn things over to Tyler Show, you need a receiver like Chris Olave to be a part of the progression of a young quarterback. And you just seen them come off a really good win versus the New York Giants. So I'm not necessarily saying that it is a must that they trade Chris Olave, but it's definitely a decision that you will have to think about to see how you can move this thing further along. I think that they might come to terms with this decision as the season goes on, but we shall see. It will be very, very good for the Buffalo Bills. Maybe not so great for the New Orleans Saints currently, but it's something that they can very well think about if they are trying to acquire more assets. And not only do you think about Chris Olave, you think about guys like Alvin Kamara, who you could potentially flip for a 3rd or a 4th round pick, or maybe that's too high. I don't necessarily know, but it's something that's definitely could be on the table if the New Orleans Saints are trying to stockpile draft picks for the 2026 draft. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen, but I've seen crazier things. We also just seen a couple of trades go on the past few days with a number of players who I didn't expect to move. I honestly thought that the Browns was going to stick around with Joe Flacco. And then we seen the Harbaugh brothers make a deal with each other. And then last night we seen the Browns and the Jaguars make another move with one another. So anything can happen, man. It's we getting closer and closer to the trade deadline, which I believe is November 2nd or 3rd or something like that. 4th, one of them. 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, one of them. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how these teams start to maneuver and position themselves as the season goes on, because right now you got the Jets at 0-5, and I'm quite imagining that these guys might be wanting to move off of some players or maybe try to, fix things and give Aaron Glenn a good shot, because being 0-5 is bad. I'm not even going to lie. And then there's a couple other teams that are around the league that don't look very good. So we'll see what happens with that. Let me know if y'all believe in that trade stuff that is going to, with that rumor, or do you think that the Buffalo Bills should go after Chris Olave, or if they will go after Chris Olave? Just let me know how y'all feeling about that, and give your thoughts on this whole thing going down in Cleveland, because for me, it's just complete buffoonery. I don't know what the hell they doing. I don't understand their logic, and I don't understand what they want to do. It's just y'all wasting a hell of a defense. That's just how I'm looking at it. And Kevin Stefanski, I like the coach. I'm not even gonna hold you, but I just think that you playing too many baby games right now. We don't be like, players respect coaches to be straightforward and not play bullshit games. And right now he's playing bullshit games. That's just how I'm looking at it. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. Before you get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football, and y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.